Great. It was really great what you were saying.
I don't remember a single word, but thank you.
This is how the job is done. You should be a politician, right?
I think I'd be assassinated immediately, but thank you.
You were talking about leadership, right?
Yeah, it really matters. It matters. Without it, the people die. It's true. If start with the knowledge that you're being lied to at scale. Not just one person, but a collection of people, a network of people acting in concert, knowingly or not, with one another in order to tell you things that are not true. And not just not true, the opposite of the truth. And that there are reasons this is happening, but it is happening. That's the thing to know. So, I mean, I hate to say this because it's very dark and cynical, but it's also true. I assess people's honesty by how the so-called mainstream, which is not mainstream in any sense, but the predominant voices regard them. So if somebody in power says, well, you're not allowed to think that, my first question is, well, why? Probably because it's true, actually. Probably because it's true. Very few people are punished for lying. I can't remember the last time I saw a public figure in the United States punished for lying. They're caught all the time. No one is ever punished. Instead, people are punished for telling the truth. Maybe not the whole truth, maybe a variation of the truth, maybe just something that points toward the truth. But it's the truth that is illegal. And so I assess it in reverse. If the people I don't trust, if the Atlantic magazine is screaming that you must go to jail or be silenced, I want to know what you're saying. Because I bet it's a little closer to the truth than what the Atlantic magazine is telling me. In fact, I'd bet my house on it.
And looking back, what advice would you give for your younger self?
My younger self, don't be so arrogant. I would give that advice to my aging self. I would give that advice to every human being, and it's advice I've given my children many times. Don't be so quick to assume you're right. Don't be so quick to assume you know. Don't be so arrogant in the way you approach other people. Don't be so judgmental. Forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. It's conditional. You're not forgiven until you forgive. And when you realize how stupid and silly you are, you're much more likely to forgive and you're much more likely to be open-minded. Don't assume you know. Just in your own life, if you've ever known someone or had a close relative, and everybody here knows this experience, who's gotten divorced. You have a close friend or a sibling who's getting divorced. And when it first happens, you think, well, one part of the marriage, the husband and the wife, was horrible. He was an alcoholic. He cheated on her. She was mean. You think you know what actually happened in that marriage. But the more you learn, the more you realize, actually, I don't really understand what was happening in that marriage. No matter how close you are to it. You can't even understand someone else's marriage. You're telling me you're going to understand someone else's country? I don't think so. So go into every decision, every situation with the knowledge that you are seeing it incompletely. You are not seeing all the facts. You do not understand everything that has happened when you weren't there. You don't really know. The best you can do is guess with good faith and an open mind and hope you got it right. That's the best you can do. And if you go into life with that attitude, you will arrive at a wiser conclusion than if you approach it like your average Atlantic Council person approaches it. So that hubris, that belief you know things you don't, that lie that you can control things you can't, the most basic of all human misperceptions, which is that I am God. No, you're not. That's how we get into trouble. That's how people die, every time.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Tucker Carlson.
Thanks so much.